Berlin, eine Gegner vor der Pause, oder? Seid ihr bereit für den ersten Titelkampf des heutigen Abends? The following match is scheduled for 1 fall, and it is for the One Culture Pro Wrestling Internet Championship.
The Prestige looking to add to their championship haul here. If the Iron King, as he now calls himself, Joe Coffey, can overcome our reigning internet champion, Gabriel Kidd. Coffey, a big challenge for this young champion who has been building up a head of steam since that losing streak. Some impressive wins as champion. It could all come crashing down here though against Coffey. Joe Coffey's outlook on live battles has completely changed for the worse as far as I'm concerned ever since he's joined the Prestige.
It's really funny you say that, Dave, because I was just going to bring up how much I like Joe Coffey since he joined the Prestige. He's focused, he's determined. I think this is a turning point for Joe Coffey, because as you said, if he can leave here with the Internet Championship, and in fact I'm confident in saying when he leaves here with the Internet Championship, they are approaching a clean sweep with the WCPW titles are the Prestige.
Well, Coffey in the ring. Here comes the reigning internet champion. And Alex, I think you may have underestimated Gabriel Kidd. If you have, you're not the first one, because Gabriel Kidd, no one expected him to win the internet title in the first place.
For the weight of 189 pounds from Birmingham in England, he is the reigning One Culture Pro Wrestling Internet Champion, Gabriel Kidd.
Gabriel Kidd with a surprise victory over Cody Rhodes to become the internet champion. Since then he's had impressive wins against, among other people, Zack Sabre Jr., Shah Samuels, and Kidd, as proud to represent What Culture Pro Wrestling with that internet title as anyone you could ever hope to meet. That internet title is the very life, the very essence of Gabriel Kidd's being.
Well, I'm not underestimating Gabriel Kidd. You know, that match against Zack Sabre Jr. that you mentioned was an incredible showing by this young man. But Joe Coffey, I don't know, man. There's something about Coffey that in my mind makes him one of the toughest competitors in all of Europe right now. He's literally made of iron, this man.
You talked about how his attitude has, in your mind, improved. I wonder whether this chip on his shoulder, this sense of entitlement that Coffey and the rest of the Prestige seem to have, could be his undoing here. He almost, get the impression with Coffey, he almost thinks that Kidd doesn't deserve to share the ring with him. And that could lead him to a little bit of complacency here. Maybe that's wishful thinking on my part, because other than that, I agree. Coffey must be the favourite, despite the fact that he's the challenger.
What I find interesting with these two is in a world of larger-than-life characters that pro wrestling was for so many decades, this is just two trunks and boots wrestlers plying their trade right here in Germany.
Yeah, there's something distinctly old school about Gabriel Kidd, the way he's been trained, actually mentored by a lot of people, including Prince Amin, who recently released him from his official duties as a manservant after a year or so of being under contract. Kidd has grown, not just as a wrestler, but as a man so much in the past year, still only 20 years old. Collar and elbow tie-up into the ropes, going to ask for a clean break. Well, Kidd gives him one. I'm not sure Coffey would have done the same in the opposite situation. Coffey, as I said, previously known as the Iron Man, now insisting on being referred to as the Iron King.
Does that mean he'll sit in an iron throne? That'd be cool.
I'm sure in his head he deserves to. Gabriel Kidd is going completely level pegging here with Joe Coffey. in the early moments. Kid's been making a name for himself in WCPW. Coffey has as well, of course, but he's also had a lot of experience elsewhere, including in ICW, where he headlined a show at the Hydro in Glasgow in front of 6,000 people. Also, it was part of that ITV World of Sports special on New Year's Eve last year. Coffey's profile, Coffey's renown in the world of wrestling has been growing exponentially. It'll be another step up that ladder if Coffey can take home the internet title to the Prestige here. Big shoulder block.
And I've mentioned this before, Dave, a mistake I often see Gabriel Kidd make, in my opinion, is that he tries to match whatever his opponent does. You know, with Zack Sabre Jr., it was wrestling, and amazingly, in that situation, it worked. But when you try and match power and striking ability with Joe Coffey, I mean, that is not a good way to go forward in your contest.
That's a good point, although Gabriel Kidd there showing some pretty good leg strength to escape what I think was an attempt at a Boston Crab. An inverted atomic drop from Kidd. Coffey will counter the Irish whip. Kidd puts the brakes on and kicks him in the face. Coffey going for the black coffee. Northern Light suplex from Gabriel Kidd. Kidd growing in confidence with every victory he gets here. Again, was 0-26 in WCPW. Unprecedented losing streak before he won the internet title.
He was like the anti-Goldberg.
Since winning the title though, the opposite has been true. He just can't lose. Lady Luck shining on Gabriel Kidd wherever he goes, it seems.
That's Lucky Kid's mum.
What?
Lady Luck.
I thought you were going to tell me that Gabriel Kidd and Lucky Kid were related then.
What, like Doug Williams and Travis Banks?
Goodness, I shouldn't have given you ideas. Why feed the monster? Gabriel Kidd, though, in trouble on the outside. He's deposited in the front row. No barriers here in this arena in Berlin. So Joe Coffey with a straight run-up. Uses it to chop Kidd hard across the chest. Coffey, well, that's not smart. Coffey asking for a count out. You can't win the title on a count out, Joe. Never was the sharpest tool in the drawer, was he?
And listen to this, Berlin has not sung this hard since David Hasselhoff released his last album. He was very popular in Berlin.
You got that album? I don't know why I'm asking, I'm sure you have. Exactly your kind of music.
It's a classic. He did a cover of Just Another Brick in the Wall. Didn't go down very well.
Joe Coffey is built like a brick wall, and Kidd is trying to chop away at that wall, but with little success, it has to be said. Coffey, just such power behind every one of those boots. I've mentioned it many times, but Coffey with a great amateur sports background, particularly in rugby. Also a pretty accomplished striker, as you see in there. Mule kicks to Gabriel Kidd. Big running boot to the chest. Coffey will roll him over, goes for the cover, just a 1 count. Kidd refusing to allow his shoulders to stay down for any time at all.
But those covers aren't about Joe Coffey winning, they're about exhausting Gabriel Kidd, and at this point it looks like that's working.
I don't know, Kidd, very well conditioned young man. We'll have to see if Coffey can outpace him here. He's certainly going to outpower him, and you're right, this is exactly the kind of thing that Kidd doesn't want to be doing. He's getting into a strike battle here against Coffey, and that's a battle he probably can't win. Kidd, though, with a running boot. Proven wrong. Oh, Coffey, though, with a equally big chop, and now those lefts and rights. Arguably closed fists there, referee allowing it. Headbutt right into the stomach there from Kidd, and Coffey catches him with the high leg.
And there you go, Dave. you play a striking game with Coffey, you're gonna lose. Particularly when you keep it within the rules like Gabriel Kidd with an open hand.
Coffey though was trying to capitalise there and try and pick up the win. Just a 2 count, but he's now doing more and more damage to that lower back.
Forget the iron throne, he's made a flash one. Look at that.
Time for the camel clutch. In fact, he's countered or changed his tack at least into a pin attempt. If that doesn't work, he'll just kick you in the face. That is Joe Coffey all over.
Coffey is making Gabriel Kidd work overtime every second that passes in this match.
Such a unique championship reign, because every time Gabriel Kidd gets into the ring, unlike most champions, you always feel like he's the underdog. You always feel like there's a title change just around the corner. Yet Kidd continues to defy expectations.
Look at that closed fist by Coffey. Gabriel Kidd open hand. Sometimes you've got to fight fire with fire. Often that just creates more fire.
Went for a sunset flip, and now Coffey got the giant swing. Coffey, giant swing on the internet champion. A lot of power there from Joe Coffey, and now the half crab. Joe Coffey using that considerable weight advantage to cinch down, but Kidd was able just to stretch out and reach the bottom rope. Lots of support here for Coffey, and don't forget, by the way, not just among the crowd there's support, but Coffey has reinforcements back in the locker room as well. Kidd needs to keep an eye out. We know certainly that Joe Hendry is in the building because he has a match coming up later. We don't know what other members of the Prestige may be lurking in the shadows.
Whatever are you insinuating, Dave Bradshaw?
You know exactly what I'm insinuating.
No, I don't. That's why I asked.
Prestige.
Are you trying to say that the rest of the Prestige will interfere in this?
I'm saying it's a distinct possibility.
That's slander.
Well, I think the evidence from previous instances is in my favour. Trying to keep up with Coffey on these chops, but there's a little bit less power in those chops now, you get the sense from Kidd. He is being worn down gradually by this big Scot, Joe Coffey.
Prince Amin needs to finally speak to Gabriel Kidd and say stop using other people's master strategies against them, because it isn't working. Find what works for you and excel in it.
Something is clearly working for Kidd over the past couple of months since he won the title, because he's still the champion. Some people, including me, worried that some of his early victories were maybe flukes, winning with some roll-ups, but been a little bit more decisive in the way he's won his matches recently. Coffey, I think, is surprised, you know, that Kidd is taking all of this abuse and is still on his feet.
This is like rope-a-dope. What is he doing, Gabriel Kidd? Just refuses to lose.
Kidd, that never give up attitude to life, that's what allowed him to get through that losing streak. It's got him to the internet title.
What you get from going up on John Cena.
Oh, went for the black coffee, did Coffey. Speaking of Cena, it looked like it could have been an attitude adjustment from Kidd. Coffey on his shoulders, but Iron King fought his way free. Men running at each other with clothesline attempts. Again, the block of the black coffee. Kidd put the boot up, no one there. There's a German suplex and a big one from Coffey.
Ah, there you go. There you go. Dave, that's what I mean. I was going to say earlier, if I was Gabriel Kidd, I'd sucker Joe Coffey into thinking that the striking was going to continue and hit him with something else, and that's exactly what he did. And that is the wisest move Gabriel Kidd's made so far this match.
Gabriel Kidd with a ring presence here. You wouldn't expect from a 20-year-old to pull that off. Coffey was literally suckered in there. Kidd sends him face first. into the turnbuckle. Gabriel Kidd trying to pick up the pace. There's a backdrop on Coffey. Joe Coffey is hurting. Kidd with a running boot to the face. Kidd over the top, lands on the apron. Blocks the attempt of the right hand from Coffey. Kidd will go to the top. Kidd from up high. It's a missile drop kick. He'll go for the cover to retain the internet title. Is it enough? No, it's not.
And if you notice the change in fortunes for Gabriel Kidd, the moment he stopped trading offense and strikes with Joe Coffey, as soon as he switched it up, it was a totally different thing.
How much damage has been done? Gabriel Kidd needs to be capitalising while Coffey is down, but instead he's having to just gasp for air and take the time to recuperate. And that's giving Coffey a chance to get back to his feet.
Gabriel Kidd needs to pay attention, Dave, because there's a Coffey lurking in the wings.
Every time you see Gabriel Kidd do something wise beyond his years, there's always that risk of some kind of rookie errors, and you saw it there. He took his eye off the ball. Here comes Coffey, middle rope, top rope, crossbody. Cover to win the title. Kidd out of 2. Coffey maybe lining up Gabriel Kidd for that discus lariat, the Black Coffey. Yes, he is, goes for it. It's the second or third time he's gone for it. Kidd has blocked or ducked every time. Kidd rolls through.
Kamikaze crash, you know what's coming up now?
There's a second rope moonsault. Big one from Kidd, and he nailed all of it. Is that enough? Is it? No.
Hold on. Hold on. I mean, that looked like a 3.
It was extremely close. Kidd with the running boot from Gabriel Kidd. He got him. That's how Kidd beat Shah Samuels.
And still, What Culture Pro Wrestling Internet Champion, Gabriel Kidd.
Kidd beat Samuels that way. Now he's beaten Coffey as well. Kidd may have found the move that is going to keep him as internet champion for some time. He has knocked Joe Coffey out cold.
I'll tell you what, I wasn't a believer, but I'm in shock and awe, Dave. I mean, Gabriel Kidd, that was a decisive victory. A decisive victory against Joe Coffey. Wow.
Coffey was hoping to add to his prestige by taking the internet title back to his gang of hooligans back in the locker room. But things did not go to plan. Gabriel Kidd, still your internet champion.
Hello, I'm your What Culture Pro Wrestling General Manager here with some good news and some bad news about the US qualifier of the Pro Wrestling World Cup. Unfortunately, owing to a last-minute change in circumstances, Cody Rhodes will no longer be a part of that tournament. However, we've come up with a brilliant replacement. We're going to replace him with Keith Lee. Keith Lee has been wowing the independent scene for the last few years, doing the kind of aerial moves that big men should not physically be able to do. He has been setting Evolve on fire, Rev Pro, PWG, Ring of Honor, take your pick. He's been everywhere, and we're proud to say he's part of the US qualifier of the Pro Wrestling World Cup. To get your tickets to see that show live on Friday, July the 21st in Manchester, get your tickets at prowrestlingworldcup.com.